We've prepared a special deep dive for you today. Think about the most driven, obsessively competitive person you know.
Oh, we all know someone like that.
Right. But now multiply that drive by $1 billion and place them on a massive global stage. So our mission today is to unpack the extreme psychological fuel and the almost cinematic twists behind Cristiano Ronaldo's rise from absolute poverty to an empire.
It is a wild ride, for sure. To really grasp the psychology here, we have to start at ground zero. Lisbon, 1985. He's born into a one-room apartment.
Wait, literally one row.
Literally one room. His father worked as a kit man, essentially the behind-the-scenes guy doing the team's laundry and wrangling equipment. And his mother struggled constantly. I mean, they were occasionally skipping meals.
Wow.
Yeah, his childhood wasn't about succeeding. It was really just about surviving.
So for a kid in that kind of environment, a soccer trial isn't just a game. It's a lifeline.
Precisely. And that brings us to this crazy pivot point at a Sporting Lisbon trial. A scout tells a group of kids that whoever scores the most goals gets the coveted academy contract.
Talk about pressure.
Right. So, late in the game, Ronaldo has one goal. A teammate named Albert has two. Albert finds himself on a breakaway, completely rounds the goalkeeper, and just has an empty net in front of him.
And this is the part that completely blows my mind. Because instead of tapping it in for the contract, he passes the ball to Ronaldo.
He does.
Ronaldo gets the tap in and he gets the contract. Why on earth does a kid hand over his literal ticket out of poverty?
It's just one of those inexplicable historical moments. But what's fascinating isn't just the pass itself, it's the intense psychological debt it creates. Ronaldo takes that unearned opportunity and just weaponizes it.
Yeah, he turns himself into a complete phenomenon.
Exactly. He eventually dazzles Sir Alex Ferguson in a friendly match, which secures a $19 million move to Manchester United.
Which sets up an insane amount of professional pressure. I mean, a teenager arriving at one of the biggest clubs in the world asking for the number 28 shirt, and Ferguson just says no.
He hands him the legendary number 7 instead.
Right, the shirt worn by George Best, Eric Cantona, David Beckham. It's like a director pulling an understudy out of the chorus line on Broadway and saying, "You're the lead now, it's opening night, sink or swim."
Ferguson was intentionally forcing this immense, undeniable expectation onto a kid just to see if the weight would break him. But that professional crucible was about to collide with a devastating personal tragedy.
Because back home, the stress of that extreme poverty had really taken its toll on his father, Jose Denise.
Yeah, he had turned to alcohol to cope and developed severe liver issues. And as his father lay dying in the hospital, Ronaldo makes a vow.
He promises to become the best in the world. Right?
Yes, to single-handedly provide for his family. The mechanism of his drive completely shifts there. He stops playing merely to stay out of poverty and starts playing to conquer the world. It's like every goal is a brick in a fortress protecting his family.
Yeah, let's unpack this for a second, because I struggle with this part of the narrative. Was his relentless drive a genuine superpower, or was it just a profound trauma response? Like, is he running toward greatness or just sprinting away from that one-room apartment?
That is the crucial debate. If we analyze his behavior, it leans heavily into trauma response. A completely contented person doesn't physically push themselves to the brink every single day.
That's true.
The early trauma created an emotional void that only quantifiable, record-breaking achievement could soothe. So when he goes on to score 31 league goals in the 07-08 season, wins the Champions League, and secures a world record transfer to Real Madrid in 2009, that isn't just ambition.
It's a man trying to outrun his own shadow.
Exactly. And then he shatters records like scoring 16 goals in the 2013-14 Champions League campaign, ending Madrid's 12-year drought.
He conquered club football entirely. But club football is just one side of the coin.
Right. When we transition to the international stage, we see the absolute limits of individual willpower. For a man whose entire psychological framework relies on absolute personal control, international tournaments are agonizing.
Because you're entirely dependent on your countrymen.
Exactly. Which resulted in crushing exits in 2004, 2010, and 2014.
Until Euro 2016.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly poetic because he finally captures the trophy but suffers an injury early in the final.
Yeah, he spends the biggest game of his life literally crying on the sidelines, having to surrender that control.
It's wild.
He achieved the ultimate collective prize by being forced to let go. But that lesson didn't carry over into his twilight years in Europe. It became increasingly chaotic.
Oh, incredibly chaotic.
Yeah.
We saw failed Champions League runs at Juventus, and then that dramatic return to Manchester United.
A return that was tragically overshadowed by the death of his baby son, Angel.
Just an unimaginable personal tragedy.
It really was. It's a collision of a fading physical dominance he can no longer dictate and profound personal grief. This psychological toll manifested in a bitter fallout with manager Eric Ten Hag, a fiery interview, and ultimately a terminated contract.
Leading right into a quarterfinal exit in his 2022 World Cup Last Dance.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the ultimate plot twist. He shocks the world by signing a $200 million a year deal with Al Nassr. So I have to ask, if you're looking at this, is this massive Saudi deal a well-earned victory lap for a man who can now buy an island, or a refusal to let go of the spotlight?
Well, for someone forged in the trauma of a one-room apartment, the concept of enough probably just doesn't exist. The spotlight, the record-breaking salary, it's not about buying islands. It's daily proof that he survived, that he's still relevant, and that the void hasn't swallowed him.
It's a staggering roller coaster, going from literal street poverty, hoping for a passed ball in a youth trial, to an empire of unimaginable wealth. Which leaves you, our listeners, with a fascinating question to chew on today. Does reaching the absolute pinnacle of human achievement actually require experiencing deep early life trauma? Or could a perfectly content, well-adjusted person ever find the agonizing drive to reach those same heights?